in Detroit. The Pistons fans fired up because of that man right there, Ben Wallace, the afro and cornrows tonight, but still wear the afro wig. Allen Iverson just 8 of 21 in game 1. He'll need a big game 2. Meanwhile, later tonight, we head out to the Big D. The American Airlines Arena, a house of horror for the Dallas Mavericks in game 1. Can they pull even with the Kings? Well, we'll find out. Welcome inside Playoff Central. Kevin Frazier, Greg Anthony. We're getting ready for a playoff double dip of basketball. Greg, let's talk about game 1. Pistons, Sixers, and injuries seem to be the key here.
I think it's going to be the key in this series. If you think about it right now, Philly's entire starting 5 all banged up and hurt. Had a very poor performance game 1. Chauncey Billups still questionable. Yeah. That will be the ultimate outcome, injuries. Who's the healthiest? Who has the most fight in them? Philadelphia needs a win.
They could use Greg Anthony right now in Detroit. I mean, they need guards. Anyway, let's head out to the Palace. Mike Tirico, hanging tough.
Thank you, Kevin. We welcome you 30 miles north and a little bit west from downtown Detroit. Game 2 of the best of 7 between Philadelphia and the Detroit Pistons. Pistons have won their last 4 playoff games, in large part because of the success that they've had scoring the basketball. Detroit has taken a 1-0 series lead here, trying to do what New Jersey did last night, protect home court and force Philly, and in the other case Boston, into must-win situations in Game 3. But the task has become difficult for Detroit. Chauncey Billups, who's been great the last 3 games, 10-minute mark, 4th quarter, game 1. Nasty turn of that ankle being defended by Eric Snow. He worked on it overnight. They worked on it earlier today. Didn't do much at shoot-around, and as you see, not wearing a uni. So Chauncey Billups a no-go for the Pistons tonight. Without their potent scorer, huge opportunity for Allen Iverson to put up big numbers and perhaps draw Philadelphia even in this best of 7. With Michelle Tafoya and Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico, glad to have you on board for our playoff double dip. All right, Tom, we have no Chauncey Billups for the Pistons. Chucky Atkins starts in his stead. Eric Snow banged up for Philadelphia. An update on him in a minute. How do the injuries impact game 2?
Well, I don't think Chauncey Billups not playing today impacts Detroit defensively. They're a great defensive team. They trust one another, and they're one of the better teams in the league, if not the best, at helping and recovering. So defensively, they're fine. Offensively, this is a guy that creates, gets in the middle, creates for himself, and creates for his teammates. So that's going to be hard to replace. A guy like Clifford Robertson might want to step up. Williamson's going to have to get a few more points. And as far as Iverson goes, if Snow isn't 100%, then Iverson's going to have to help him bring the ball up. Just one more thing to do for the toughest little guy in the NBA.
Let's find out about Eric Snow. He's standing by with Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. After x-rays, a bone scan, and a CT scan, Eric, you know that there's no fracture, but still tendonitis in the foot and that swelling in that right foot. When you were warming up about 90 minutes ago, what were you looking for and what made you confident you could go tonight?
Just whether I could stop and go. It doesn't bother me as much when I'm sliding, but it's just the initial taking off and stopping. So I thought as long as I could do that, I could at least go out and see what I can do.
Will you go in, do you expect to go in spurts as you did in game 1?
Yeah, I don't think Coach will leave me out there for a long time. I just try to do what I can do, hopefully help the team in small spurts. And I know, because I know I got guys that's definitely capable of backing me up. Now,
in game 1, you guys didn't handle their pressure defense all that well. What do you expect to be able to do differently tonight?
Well, I think we have to attack it. I think the first game we just broke it and then ran our play, but that was their objective, to run time off the clock. We have to attack it and try to score on the back end.
All right, good luck. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back to you, Mike.
Well, we know from 2 years ago how tough Eric Snow is. We saw that in the NBA Finals of 2001. Well, half the Palace guards are not present tonight. Richard Hamilton will try to carry the load. Game 2 is next.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Nissan and your local Nissan dealer. Baby Ruth. Enter the Real Deal fan search at babyruth.com. And New Suave for men. Great performance, great price, just for guys.
Continue. They are sold out in the Palace of Auburn Hills. Waiting for Big Ben to ring often tonight. Ben Wallace didn't have his normal rebound night, just 12 but good enough in game one. Detroit tries to go up 2-0 as we check the Bud Light starting lineups. With the injury, Eric Snow will be in the starting lineup along with Allen Iverson, Kenny Thomas, Keith Van Horn, and Detroit native Derek Coleman. Chucky Atkins gets the start along with Richard Hamilton, Michael Curry, Ben Wallace, and Cliff Robinson for the Pistons. 50-win team regular season. Philadelphia 48-win team the regular season. Why is this game important? Plain and simple. You go up 2-0. It is rare that you don't go on. The Sixers have never lost the first two and come back to win a series. Bennett Salvatore is our crew chief with Bob Delaney and Monty McCutcheon. Game 2 underway here at the Filling Palace.
Are we sure Delaney's not undercover tonight?
No, he is. And by the name Bob Delaney. Michael Curry to Robinson, who's watched by Van Horn. We'll watch for matchup adjustments early on. Wallace watched by Derek Coleman. Ben missing his first shot. And Kenny Thomas comes away with the rebound after a quiet 2.16-minute effort.
Well, who's going to be able to score for the Pistons tonight? Who's going to be able to create shots for anybody else? And how many easy shots can they get? Clifford Robinson's the guy who's been in the playoffs, and he's my pick to click tonight, Whippy. I think it's going to be Clifford Robinson maybe sets up as a nice game.
Thomas misfires, and Wallace gets rebound number 1, and they bang the bang gong here in Michigan. Curry likes to look for a shot early. Robinson trying to take Van Horn. So Cliff Robinson, who has just had a very poor shooting playoff in the mid-30s for shooting percentage and coming off a 2 of 7 game in game 1, draws first for the Pistons. Philadelphia led for a total of 18 seconds in game 1.
Ooh, nice move. Bad finish.
As Thomas couldn't convert, Coleman those long arms to keep alive the possession.
He was probably dizzy by the time he let that one go. Nice pass.
Bounces to Van Horn. A block for a foul. On Wallace.
No easy shots when Ben Wallace is down around the rim. And it's a nice pass by Iverson. He's going to try to post him up. Curry has to go over and help. Slips. All right. A little bit of body there, but a lot of ball.
Van Horn makes the first early foul trouble to Keith out of his flow and rhythm offensively. In game 1, a lot of those points there down the stretch, but Larry Brown said the 2 early fouls bring Van Horn to the bench, and Larry's of the school that if you get 2 in the first half, I don't always want to keep you out there because I want you to play free into the second half and not pick up that 3rd foul.
And a lot of times with Van Horn,
if the game's close,
yeah, the first 5 minutes will dictate how he's going to do offensively. If he can get it going, get a little rhythm, he's going to be okay. If not, we saw what happened last game.
He fell down there, not able to take advantage of it. Atkins switched off. Hamilton over Iverson. A 3. Richard Hamilton's been a first quarter scorer in these playoffs, averaging 22 a game. 13 of those 22 in the first half. Thomas, 3rd shot, first made.
And that's exactly what Eric Snow talked about. If the Pistons are going to press us, let's not beat it and then set up our offense. Let's beat it and see if we can get something out of it. And here's Coleman doing the same thing.
And Philadelphia returning the favor, applying some of its own defensive pressure. Robinson tried to use the advantage in the lane. Coleman wasn't in the middle there to deter an easy shot.
Well, it's something he can do, and I've always believed he can do a little bit more of that. Sometimes he gets very comfortable just shooting the outside shots. He's so long, he can usually get in there and jump over people.
Robinson now defending on Thomas. 2 active players in the first 2.5. Lean in.
Good D.
Board 2 for Ben. Hamilton will do some handling, obviously, tonight, as well as Atkins. And turned over. Chucky Atkins was Detroit's starting point guard the last 2 years, 75 and 62 starts. This season, he goes to the bench and subs for Chauncey Billups. And you see the point differential with those minutes cut in more than half, as Billups has just been terrific. 37 points, 40 points, and Rick Carlisle saw Billups put up 24, including 4 threes in the Game 1 victory. Iverson has a window, but Wallace there to deter. That's perfect a play as you can ask for from Iverson. The shot blocker came up, and he went right around his waist.
Well, once you beat your guy, that's what opens stuff up like that. And now, as a shot blocker, sometimes you get that happening to you 2 or 3 times, you stop helping as quickly.
Hamilton beat Iverson to the goal, and Coleman comes away with a rebound. Hamilton took a lot of shots in the early going of Game 1. Iverson doesn't have Hamilton here. Missed it, and Curry on the board. Atkins for a shot. Misfired, and Thomas comes away with the rebound.
1-on-4. Most guys would back it out. He's one of those guys that might try to take it.
Going the other way, offensive foul on Iverson. Richard Hamilton did a very nice job racing around to cover Larry Brown's leading scorer in game 1.
And it's a nice job of moving your feet by Hamilton, getting over. He used the baseline as an extra defender.
Iverson was 8 of 21, but 2 of 11 in the last 31 minutes of the game 1 Detroit victory.
Well, someone's got to get over there and help.
And Robinson's come off to a good start. So for all the slow shooting for Cliff Robinson in these playoffs, he's 3 of 3 here tonight.
Over the top, now you got to go. You got to attack it. Beautiful.
And Thomas finishes with the dunk. So nice adjustments that Larry Brown was working on at the shoot-around this morning, executed well by his veteran Philadelphia team. It's 9-8 Pistons.
Exactly how you want to do it. Get it to the middle and then attack.
Robinson over Van Horn, 4 for 4. So Cliff Robinson, who is shooting 27 of 80. Really nasty-looking percentage of 34 in Detroit's first 8 playoff games. This one's going to be on Curry, trying to fight through the screen. And the 9-year veteran picks up his first.
Well, it's always nice when you come out and get off to a good start, and you're going to be a guy that's going to be expected to give you some points. And Michael Curry, not a guy you're going to expect to give you a whole lot of points, but gives you a whole lot. And there's Cliff Robinson right there. I mean, he's just getting loose here in the first quarter, and they're going to need that throughout the whole game.
Good call by you pregame. Coleman likes to shoot from out there. Can't make the 3, and the rebound by Atkins. Chucky at 5'11". You see him often on the glass. In addition to everything else, Detroit loses about 4 inches in the size advantage with Billups not playing. Hamilton loves that shot. He's been shooting that 11 to 14 footer during his days in high school, 45 minutes away from Philly, and his excellent collegiate days at the University of Connecticut. They won a national championship. Thomas again inside. So Philadelphia's adjustments have looked very good thus far, as they have 10 early points. Thomas with 6 of them.
And it shows you what Iverson does. Without even being involved in the play, they know where he is. Thomas slips and gets underneath and gets the easy bucket.
Hamilton picks up the offensive foul. Pistons on top by 3. We remind you to log on to NBA.com for the exclusive 2003 playoff section, featuring live post-game press conferences, photo galleries, video highlights, and more. Love it live on NBA.com. Snow able to stop there, and that's what he was concerned about. Thomas comes away with the offensive glass, a point of emphasis for Philly after game 1.
Well, he led them in offensive rebounding throughout the playoffs, had 0 last game.
As a team, they had just 8. Wallace's 3rd rebound of the game. Curry! Danny Manning on the end, literally and figuratively, of the Detroit bench. Veteran there, but a great presence around this team as he was acquired right after the first of the year. Iverson missing badly, but Coleman cleaning up.
Oh, that was so bad it was good. Just hitting prop right down to him.
And the Pistons take timeout. So Iverson has opened 0 of 3 shooting here in the first 6.5. But Detroit leads by 3, getting good contributions from Uncle Cliffy.
Uncle Cliffy with the headband, getting it done. He's a veteran. He has playoff experience. And when guys need to step up, you look to your veteran leadership. And early on, it was being aggressive, getting to the hole, little right-handed floater, and then let me go to the hole again. And how about a little? Oh, the left-handed floater. Cliffy, the big red dog, is barking tonight. Bow wow!
Anthony in the studio. Don't forget at 9:30 Eastern, it's game 2 of our double dip. Chris Webber and the Kings taking on the Mavs. Who's going to stop Chris Webber, Greg?
Somebody's going to have to. The one thing about Chris C. Webb is he steps his game up in a playoff, and the most important statistic there, look at his winning percentage for his team. They are much more dominant when they get to the playoffs.
Chris scoring nearly 5 more points per game and winning 5 of the 6 meetings against the Mavericks. He had 24 and 9 in game 1. Game 2 coming up at 9:30 Eastern. Can the Mavs get back in this series? Can they pull their world together?
All right, guys, we'll watch tonight, and then we'll be out there for Game 3 of that series Saturday night here on ESPN. Pistons by 5 as Cliff Robinson's turned around a horrible shooting playoff, 27 of 80 coming in tonight.
Well, he started it off by taking it to the rim, both with the right and the left hand, and then showing you his versatility. He shows you the right, then the left, then the mid-range game. His like just keeps backing out. Okay, let me go ahead and try this one. And the 3. Off to an incredible start so far. 5 for 5, 11 points. Just what the Pistons needed.
Derek Coleman said, what are you doing? Where's that 33% opening 5 of 5 for the 36-year-old veteran who was drafted by Portland back in 1989? Iverson missing a free throw, so it's been a struggle for Allen thus far. 1 of 5, just that prayer of a three-pointer. And missing his first free throw, plus a couple of turnovers.
Tell you what, though, you get 11 if you're the Sixers. They're shooting over 70%, and you're only down 4.
You're right. Iverson applying some defensive pressure, now backs off as Atkins brings it across midcourt. Drew the defense for Tayshaun Prince. His range is fine when he's out of bounds. I'll tell you what I mean in a second. Atkins, a 3. Chucky Atkins, who forces his shot when he doesn't get a lot of playing time, might have a better night offensively because he'll be in the flow. Iverson continues to struggle. 1 of 6. The Wallace rebound is 5th. Back-to-back for Atkins. Can't get it, and Coleman on the board. Iverson trying to make so much happen right now, just not going well. Aaron McKee sets up Van Horn, who's free.
Well, they got to get him the ball. I mean, I really think that I've said he needs to be more aggressive. The rest of the team needs to be more aggressive in trying to find him and get him going.
Van Horn has hit both field goals and free throws he's attempted thus far. Robinson is 5 of 5 from the field.
Oh, no. I was going to say that thing goes.
And a foul call. Well, tomorrow night, TNT continues with the NBA playoffs as the scene shifts to Boston and LA, the 2 franchises with the most success ever in the NBA playoffs, trying to avoid going down 3-0. And Saturday, Detroit-Philly, Game 3 from Philadelphia, and we'll be in Sacramento to watch the Kings and Mavs. Game 2 is next, and Game 3 is 9:30 Eastern on Saturday night. So on the Philadelphia foul, Robinson comes back to the line. It was the first on Keith Van Horn. Michelle Tafoya.
Well, this is what Eric Snow is going to be doing when he comes out of the game. He's going to sit courtside, and he's going to have a heating pack on that right foot to keep the circulation going, to keep the muscles warm. He was doing that on and off in Game 1 as well. He also had a little electric stim going in Game 1. No stimulation this time, but just keeping that heat on it, trying to keep it from stiffening up is what he hopes to do, guys.
Eric Snow, as mentioned before, in the 2001 finals, played through a broken bone in his foot. After 1 of 2 from Robinson. McKee set up by Buckner. Nice job by Buckner to find as he was driving baseline. It is a 3, so the Detroit lead is 3. The Pistons have led right throughout. As a matter of fact, in this series, as Robinson continues his hot shooting, made all 6 field goals here thus far. Phillies led for only 18 seconds when it was 2-0 in the opening quarter of Game 1. Ben Wallace has been very good on the glass thus far in the first quarter. 7 boards. Robinson got Iverson to fake. Finally misses. He didn't want to give up that 6 for 6. He knew he wasn't feeling it. Iverson. Sweet break on Atkins. Gets it back and gets it to go. And asking for the foul as well. Iverson 2 of 9 from the field. Let's see what Detroit pulls off for a last shot. Robinson's screen, no room for Atkins. Leans into one and beat the clock. So in place of Chauncey Billups, Chucky Atkins had a decent first quarter. Iverson continuing his struggle from the field. He is now 10 of 30, and he's played all 60 minutes of this series. The Pistons shot 62% from the field. Your percentages are helped when you hit 6 of 7 from Cliff Robinson. Since it went in at 0-0, the officials watched, but it was good for Chucky Atkins. He beat the clock. Just out of his hand before the lights go on and the clock says 0-0. In for Chauncey Billups. Atkins had 5. There's Robinson's big opening quarter. 14 of the Pistons 30. And through one at the Palace of Auburn Hills in Game 2. Detroit leads by 5. Iverson is going to get a rest. He went the distance in Game 1. And as you see, all time in playoff history, Wilt and Russ were pretty big and pretty tall. They didn't take the beating that this guy takes for his size.
Oh, we've always said this guy is super tough. And he just couldn't find the mark early on. Just missing layups, missing shots that he won't miss. And right there trying to get by Rip Hamilton. Hamilton does a nice job getting in front of him. Hey, look, it's everybody chasing him. Everybody knows. And the one time he is open, hey, come on. Come on. I'm right here. But I tell you, if I'm both coaches, I'm pretty happy right now. I'm happy with the way Clifford Robinson's come out, Chucky Atkins, and I'm happy if I'm Larry Brown because I know this guy's not going to continue on. 2 for 9 in the first quarter. Van Horn's giving me some points and some rebounds. And if you're only down 5, shooting 41%, the opposition shoots 61, you're not too well. And let's see how the Pistons can do this quarter. We've seen them throw up 30 before, and they usually followed up with about a 14 job.
Nice move inside by Aaron McKee, who connects on his second field goal. So McKee has 5 and Philly's within 3. Atkins, Hamilton, Prince, Okur, and Wallace. Some trouble there on the trap by Kenny Thomas. Okur, who had a great game in Game 1, loses it here to Snow.
Look out for Ben.
Offensive foul first drawn by Chucky Atkins.
You see Ben trailing that play, and you know it's coming. You know the guy with the ball can't see him, and when he goes up, goodbye.
First foul on Snow. The Sixers committed only 2 personal fouls in that opening quarter, so they won't have the mini foul trouble they had in half 1 of Game 1. Tyrone Hill in the game, guarding Ben Wallace. McKee very aggressive with Prince, who likes that drive. To Okur. Beautiful block, but Okur got it back. A nice job by Greg Buckner to get up and block the 7-footer, but Mehmet Okur stays with it. And the rookie from Turkey gets his first 2. Prince draws the veteran McKee, former 6th man of the year. Pass. Just pick and roll with Hill. Let everybody commit in the air, but couldn't finish.
About as bad as you can miss a 2-footer.
Prince is fouled by McKee. I mentioned earlier about Tayshaun Prince and his range when he threw up that air ball. Oftentimes, Tayshaun Prince will sit on the bench during pregame and shoot shots seated. And he does pretty well. If you don't believe me, I'll show you.
That'll help you out come game time.
It's like the big guys who come out and practice their threes.
Exactly.
Practice something you're not going to do in the game.
Everybody wants to do what they're not.
This time he gets position on the smaller Buckner, but good job by Hill to help. Prince let the double go away. And did a nice job with the left hand.
He just unfolds down there on the low block.
Yeah, I love that word. He used it the other game. It's what he does. That 7'2" wingspan. Yep. Fingertip to fingertip. Now he's got McKee defensively. And they turn it over. All right, here's Tayshaun Prince, pregame. Working on the stuff you need to get ready for a game. You're going to start shooting your threes, right?
Get yourself playoff ready.
Now you understand why he throws up an air ball in the game. He's not comfortable inside the range there.
Oh, like I always say, practice the useless.
Atkins! What is going on with the Pistons in the last week? They're shooting 64%, 16 of 25, and lead by 9. This is a team that was downright ugly off Prince. With that long reach, knocked it away.
Well, you don't think he's going to be there. And all of a sudden, look at the ground he covers. Yak. He gets there in a hurry.
Detroit playing 2 rookies, their backup point guard, and 2 starters have extended the lead. Snow is off. Sixers have gone cold. No numbers, so Prince handling a little bit here. Chucky Atkins screaming for the ball up top. Hamilton left free for 3. Whoa! What a start for the Pistons. They're up 12, and Larry Brown will stop it here as the fans rock the Palace.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by the all-new Acura TSX, a new level of performance, and Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
An 11-2 run by Detroit. They lead by 12. Larry Brown's huddles have been calm, and let's go over them for the first quarter plus.
Allen just got to play, but Allen, you got to send him to your help. Needs to know after he gives it up, you got to really be the help. Hey, look, we just got to keep rebounding the ball. On foul shots, we got to be aware of their press and even make field goals. First foul shot, I want everybody running up. All right, when they shoot, and we're sprinting there. And they get, hey, every time they get an offensive rebound, they all run to three-point spots. We got to go find our guys. First thing, Aaron, we all got to block out. We missed an offensive defensive rebound. We all got to block out. That's the biggest thing. Allen! Allen! Come on up here. Come on.
Iverson not in the game, but needs to be in the game mentally. Here's Michelle.
Yeah, Mike, obviously frustrated. 2 of 9 shooting so far, 6 points. And in that last soundbite, you heard Larry Brown try to get Allen Iverson to join the huddle. Allen Iverson refused. So he is clearly frustrated. He's been talking to the officials, complaining about some of the calls. But right now it looks like he's getting ready to check back into this game, Mike.
You were right also. He can be frustrating at times for Larry Brown. Larry Brown's, he and Nelly are the 2 guys from playing and the coaches they've been around and the coaches who have learned from them, and they know more basketball than anybody right now. I just have experienced so much of it, and the guys who are still going. And you know, to watch a Larry Brown practice and to watch him as he handles a veteran team during a playoff series is just a treat. He's been around it so long, and is a Hall of Famer as he entered the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame this past fall. Eric Snow hits the shot to make it a 10-point game. Larry's always battling Allen Iverson, though, whether it's getting him to practice harder, practice more, or be more of a leader. Dealing with it in that last timeout. Prince inside, kind of got trapped in between a pass and a shot. Kept the possession alive and scores!
Well, they just want him more right now. They want the ball more. They want this game more. And if Philly doesn't start thinking to themselves, we don't match their intensity, we're going to be down 0-2 going home.
McKee, Hamilton came for defensive help. 5 to shoot. Holman faked a core to the air. Pitched it out to Snow. No. Shot clock violation forced by the best defense in the NBA this season.
This is being outworked right here. Here, Prince to the hole, up, and somebody's going to come down with that. Prince, battle, he ends up with it, under the bucket, an easy deuce.
That is the marketing phrase of this franchise the last 2 years in this blue-collar, proud town, going to work. And the fans have rallied around this team of hard workers. And has gotten some star performances in the playoffs. They're in trouble here with 2 to shoot. Wallace spins and turns. I mean, what else? What else can go right for Detroit?
Oh, my.
They're shooting 66%, lead by 14. Iverson trying to lose Atkins. Did there. And got 2. So after opening 2 of 9 and sitting for the first few minutes, where the Detroit lead expanded to double digits, Iverson comes back and makes it a 12-point game.
Well, he's going to get a streak going. At some point in the game, Allen's going to get his streak going where he's on fire for 4 or 5 minutes. And if you're Philly, you just withstand the storm, get it back to 6 or 7, and feel pretty good.
Coleman came over as Okur and Hamilton worked the pick and roll very well. Hey, Tom, we were talking about this off air before the game, even though it's hard to speak to you during times when I don't have to. You said that you think a guy having to work on the defensive end like Iverson is following Richard Hamilton, you think that's overrated when you talk about how that player performs offensively?
A little bit, I do. Because I think these guys are in such great shape that they can run around on the defensive end and still perform in the offensive end. I think mentally, you got to concentrate a little harder on the defensive end. Sometimes that affects you. But when a guy goes 8 for 24 or something like that, and just because he has to chase someone around, to me, it's not the sole reason. Boy, he's lost all his energy, he's focusing. And sometimes you just have bad shooting nights and you just can't get the ball to go in the hole. But I don't think that's a huge reason you have a bad shooting night just because you have to work defensively.
He's 11 of 31 now. Okur, a 73% free throw shooter, missed both of his attempts there. McKee, Iverson, Thomas, Coleman, and Buckner on the floor for Philly. Iverson on the drive, got it to go and a foul, so he's hit both field goals since he's come back from that respite on the bench. And maybe that individual time to think and collect his thoughts and emotions will benefit Allen.
Well, it's a good job by Derek Coleman pinning Okur, and as soon as Allen saw that, watch. He sees him pin Okur right there. He says, okay, lane's open, let me get in there. Floater, good, and one. And none. And a rebound.
Kept by Buckner, but Atkins never stopped and turned it over. Hamilton a three. Derek Coleman on the pitch to Iverson. He loves to get the ball like that. In transition, on the move. Missed the three. Bend the board. That is 8 for Wallace.
He wanted that one back. That was a nice, clean rhythm look right there. Just couldn't get it to go.
Watched by Thomas, giving away some shot. Good package of offensive skills. Tough shot there. Wallace tried to keep that alive, and he was held. He was trying to bat it out to Hamilton.
Wallace down there with 3 guys, and he's the one that gets it out.
Allen Iverson's hit his last 2 field goals, but he is only 4 of 11 here in Game 2. His team's down 10.
Lead by 10, and Philadelphia's Keith Van Horn on the bench again with 2 fouls. Very similar to what happened in Game 1. He had 2 fouls quickly in that first half, and Larry Brown blamed himself later for taking Keith Van Horn out of his flow after that. He said he left Keith Van Horn on the bench too long after getting those 2 fouls because there was some other foul trouble he was concerned about. So look for Keith Van Horn to come back in a little bit earlier tonight, guys, with those 2 fouls and be ready to play and not get thrown out of the offensive flow. Mike, Tom?
And Michelle, when we were talking to Larry before the game, he intimated that, and Keith Van Horn told me this morning that I've got to be careful because when I go out with 2 fouls, I got to make sure I don't get the third. The problem is, defensively, you're thinking, hey, let me not pick up a foul. Well, you need to contest some shots because Detroit is shooting 62%. So it's a kind of an in-betwixt and between for the veteran Larry Brown.
I've always thought you just can't worry about it. You just got to go out and play.
Prince draws the defense. Robinson in off the bench. Can't continue his hot shooting. Tayshaun kept it alive to Hamilton. Fresh shot clock.
Seems they're the ones getting all the loose balls, getting all the offensive rebounds right now.
Hamilton and Prince running the show with Atkins getting a breather. Corliss Williamson in the game as well with Okur and Cliff Robinson. Okur working on Coleman. 3-second violation. In a couple of years, Mehmet, you'll be able to get away with that. Still a rookie.
I think he was trying to set the all-time playoff record for most pump fakes in one move. He was up to 5 and counting before the 3-second call, I might add. That was like Kevin McHale playing against Kevin McHale, man. It was just, they called it the torture chamber, and it was. He would try every move twice before he passed it. It was just a horrible feeling being down there.
Okur hedged, but McKee got by defensively. 7 to shoot.
Got to go knock that one down.
Hill missed it. The shot clock did not reset. Hill lost it, and it is a shot clock violation. Correctly called as it never touched the rim. Just poor recognition and a 6th Philadelphia turnover. Better than the first half in Game 1. You know, in that game one, Tom, they had 25 possessions of nothing, 17 turnovers and 8 blocked shots. It doesn't account for Detroit playing good defense as well. Backdoor, Okur, and a foul on Hill. So Tayshaun Prince at the point, making a nice bounce pass there to fellow rookie Okur.
A nice pass in that to where when he catches it, and you watch Okur up top, cuts, and just puts it right on the money. All he's got to do is catch and go up and draw the foul. Now you got to hit the free throw.
Chauncey Billups has been working with Hamilton and Atkins right throughout. Okur has missed all 3 of his free throw attempts tonight. Before the game, Memo was his nickname. He was telling me that he would watch the NBA playoffs, and it was during his season when he was over in Turkey last year. He'd stay up till 3 a.m. watching. So he said, I've probably played in as many playoff games now as I've seen in their entirety. You know, he said, I enjoyed the games, but at 3 a.m., I was in the middle of playing also. It was tough. 0 of 4 from the line. The lead is 10. Iverson pitched it out to McKee for 2. Philadelphia is struggling from the field. We're going to say it stays with the Sixers. Oh, game 2 coming up. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, David Aldridge standing by at the American Airlines Center in Dallas for Sacramento and the Mavs. Stojakovic 26, Weber 24, Bobby Jackson 23 in that game 1 blowout win. Iverson off on the mark. So Iverson is now 4 of 13. He's taken a third of the Philadelphia shots. Hamilton over Iverson, using the height advantage. Rip Hamilton at 6'7". So Detroit has changed it up. A little bit of Prince, a little bit of Hamilton handling. And with Atkins on the bench, they have not been hurt.
Well, I'm surprised they don't do that more often. That's easy for Hamilton to get that shot off. There's really nothing Iverson can do in the post against Hamilton.
Another huge first half for Hamilton. He has 14 points off the handoff from Hill. Iverson attacks the lane. And he'll have a chance for the 3-point play.
And something that's surprised they don't run more. They did it in game 1. I haven't seen it yet, but look how easy that is. I mean, he can't contest that shot, and you can't contest this guy's quickness. By you, take the foul, and I'll go to the line too.
I mentioned Hamilton earlier, averaging 13 of his 22 playoff points in the first half. Right at that number again. The foul was on Tayshaun Prince, his first. Iverson will have a chance to get it to single digits. Okur checks out. Ben Wallace comes back in to join Williamson, Robinson, Hamilton, and Prince for Detroit. Philly goes Iverson, Snow, Kenny Thomas, Coleman, and Van Horn. So the starting 5 for the balance of the quarter in all likelihood for Larry Brown.
Oh, I thought Cliff was going to get in there.
He had it on line. Williamson fouled by Coleman. In the Corliss office, as we talked about in game 1. Loves to get it on that left box. Well, Detroit's bench is called the Alternators. Their nickname, playing off the Motor City theme and all that stuff. They were very good in game 1, especially Williamson, who was in the deep freeze for matchup reasons in the Orlando series. But when you get 32 from 3 non-starters, boy, that's a help. Pistons hideous from the line. 1 of 7 for Rick Carlisle's team.
What comes after hideous?
Rancid.
Okay, good. They're heading towards that road.
Then downright unwatchable.
Wow.
The rancid zone.
They just took the rancid off ramp.
Series goes to Philadelphia for games 3 and 4 back-to-backs on Saturday and Sunday. Detroit trying to go up 2-0 at home. Van Horn, they're calling offense on Van Horn. So there's his third. And Larry Brown's thinking, well, that's why I don't like to play them too.
Well, you can't force it. When you feel the pressure on the inside, you got to spin back to the baseline and watch him force it right here. He's in, They got you. No. And he just tried to force it, and that's why he picked up the foul. Instead of going away from the pressure, he went into the pressure.
And Larry just smacked him on the backside on the way over. He knows Keith is frustrated for a second straight game, but he's going to need him here in half number 2. What a game 6 he had against New Orleans in the clincher. 18 points, 18 boards. They double Williamson. Nice recovery by Philly. 7 to shoot. Hamilton trying to post up on Iverson. Williamson hit on the way up. Good defense there by Kenny Thomas.
Well, Hamilton's got to stay there. Instead of running away, stay on the post. Oh, my goodness.
Iverson in full flight, dished it to Coleman. And a foul is called on Wallace. That's 2 on Ben. 2 and 45 to go, as the legendary voice of the Pistons, George Blaha, would say. Detroit +9.
Craig Anthony and I will talk to David Aldridge. A lot of movement going on in the NBA. He has plenty of news and notes, including Michael Jordan. He will not return to the Wizards as their team president. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Michael, this may work out well for him, but if you think about it with the Wizards, this team was, when he took over, well over the salary cap. They don't have that issue now. So not all was bad in Michael Jordan's tenure with the Wizards.
And there are a lot of suitors who are interested in Michael Jordan. Right now, though, we're interested in Michael Tirico. Let's go back to Detroit.
Kevin, thank you. With Tom Tolbert and Michelle Tafoya, it is a 9-point deficit for Allen Iverson and the Sixers. You guys were talking about Michael Jordan. Larry Brown was asked about that in the locker room before the game by the media, and he was just as shocked as many people were. And he said, hey, he can come take my job. And somebody said, well, what would you do? Anything Michael wants. Larry Brown said, hey, to have Michael Jordan in the game, nice bounce pass, Iverson able to convert off the good feed by Eric Snow. To have Michael Jordan in the NBA is so important. It looks like it will be somewhere, obviously. But Larry's reaction was funny. He said, no, I'm serious. He can come here.
Wasn't it funny? I mean, people can't.
Hamilton over Hill, missed it. Prince kept it alive.
Look at this.
Wallace chased it down.
Look out. No, but it's funny because people can't accept the fact that he might fail at being an executive. And it's a possibility.
Wallace is doubled. They're aggressive with Ben. And the foul is called on Snow, who took the worst of it. You know, one point on the Jordan thing, and David Aldridge and those guys will talk about it a lot at halftime. You know, the one point we should always remember, and Billy King, the Sixers GM, made this point to me again today. Michael did a very good job of clearing out a lot of cap room. There weren't exactly a bunch of people dying to get Mitch Richmond's contract and Juwan Howard's, so he did create a lot of space. Now, decisions made with that space may not have been the best, but they're in better shape than other teams are right now in salary cap terms. How about the Pistons struggle at the line, and Wallace hits 1 of 2. Robinson kept it alive. Back to what Tom said before. Detroit wants it more right now.
Pistons better get their heads out of the sand. They're going to be looking, like I said, at 2-0. You just got to say, hey.
Prince at 2. He was begging for it to go in. It was online saying, come on, go in, go in.
Another 2 they give up that they shouldn't have given up just because hustle.
10-point lead, final 100 seconds. Quarter 2, game 2. Coleman on Robinson. A couple of guys who've combined for 27 years in the NBA. And Coleman connects over Cliffy.
Well, here's a guy that gave him a lot last game, 21 and 8. And they're going to have to get some production from him. Van Horn with the 3 fouls. Kenny Thomas done a nice job today. They got to get the ball off the board.
Hamilton goes baseline. Richard Hamilton's offensive aggression has not been matched by Allen Iverson's defensive stopping here in the first 6 quarters of this series.
Well, if you're Philly, I'm surprised. Once Richard Hamilton puts the ball on the floor, I would double him. Because I've yet to see him pass to somebody else to get them open. Once he puts the ball on the floor, it's about him getting to the hole.
That steal came about because they were trying to get it to Iverson. Wallace to Prince. Good rebound by Kenny Thomas, who has 6 points in the game, along with Van Horn and Coleman. All 3 starting forwards have 6. And a foul by Corliss Williamson from behind the play.
Well, it's a man's game under there tonight. Each rebound is tough to get. And right here, deked him. Thought he was going to go left to the screen, right, and the help. That's always a great move because the player is always hedging towards the screen because he's thinking, am I going to get over it or under it? And while you go this way, he goes that way and ends up being an easy deuce.
Hamilton also has 5 assists as well from our stat man, the legendary Marty Aronoff. Snow has one more coming. I tell you, this Hamilton-Iverson thing has been so fun to watch because they're both working the officials. It's kind of like big guys. You know when big guys battle and it's a constant physical battle and they're always negotiating for that call? Well, these two guys are doing the exact same thing. I thought Hamilton's line was great after game one. What was it like guarding Iverson? It was like trying to guard me. Just a lot of running around. 8-point game. Pistons have shot 58% from the field. The rebound numbers are even at 20. Prince gives up the dribble right at midcourt and takes the timeout. Inexperienced point man. Atkins has gone a long stretch on the bench here, and Detroit hasn't lost much of its lead.
Well, Coleman looked like he was ready to take him in the back alley there. rough him up a little bit. They got 12. I'm always a big believer, always, in the 2-for-1. I just am. If you can get 2 shots for 1 shot, I just think you're better off. Now, certainly you have to do it right around 30. You want to leave yourself about 6 seconds to come back down and shoot another shot. But even if you get, let's say, a 30% shot,
right,
I believe 2 30% shots are better than like 1 50% shot. I just think it works out that way. Go ahead, mathematically.
Okay, I understand.
So there you go. And usually the first one's going to be a 3. I mean, I like to come down, fire a 3, and give yourself 7 or 8 seconds left. Then you're going to get the last shot of the half anyway. But to not get the 2-for-1, I know some coaches don't like to do it either, and I just never understood that.
Philadelphia is going to return the favor and take their 20-second timeout. John Salmons is coming the game, the rookie out of Miami. Well, Richard Hamilton's offense has been outstanding in the first halves of all the Piston playoff games, and especially here tonight. 7 of 11 from the field, a couple of threes, 16 points.
Oh, he's just getting it done, and defensively getting it done, too, in the first quarter against Allen Iverson. And this might be your answer right here. Not Allen Iverson the answer, but can a guy chase a guy around the other end and still compete on the offensive end and get it done? Well, Rip Hamilton's doing it tonight. He's chasing AI all over the court and still managing to find the energy to come down and get to those points.
Talking about Michael Jordan, the executive. Well, Richard Hamilton played with Jordan last year in Washington, then part of the trade. Jerry Stackhouse was the 2-guard here, and Hamilton now in that role. Well, you talked about the 2-for-1. It won't happen here. The Pistons will work it for a good shot. Prince watched by Salmons. The 2 rookies go at it. Tayshaun spins in the lane. He's so good with that spin, and always with that left hand in there. It's 10. Shot clock off.
Well, the Pistons might want to figure out that when he goes right, he always comes back to his left.
Iverson double, got close, got 2.
Now you look at your 2-for-1.
Iverson a better second quarter than first. Hamilton sizing him up. He'll try to end it with a 3 that's off the mark as we reach the end of the half. Detroit shot 57% from the field in that first half, including a well-played half without your starting point guard. They only turned it over 5 times. And the Pistons led by 9 after game 1. They lead by 8 at the half of game 2. And here's Michelle with Cliff Robinson.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. Boy, what a first quarter for you, 6 of 7, and your whole team is shooting well. Why is the offense, without Chauncey Billups, being executed so well tonight?
Well, I think we came out aggressive. We didn't want to, sit back and, worry about or have sympathy for ourselves because we had one of our better players out. We wanted to come out and keep the aggressiveness that we started with last game and it carried over.
When you guys have a night like this where you're shooting 2 of 10 from the free throw line and you know as a team that can come back to hurt you, how do you get yourselves mentally out of that funk?
Well, you just got to step up there and knock them down. We're a better free throw shooting team than that, and when we have to knock them down, when the game is on the line, we'll be there to knock them down. What kind of inspiration is Chauncey sitting there in street clothes been to you guys tonight? Well, I'd much rather have him out here in the uniform, but just having him out there is, that's cool. We can't have him out here on the floor. It's good to have him on the sideline. All right, thanks so much, Cliff. Back to you, Mike.
All right, Michelle, big half from Cliff Robinson. Coming up, the AT&T halftime report with Kevin Frazier and Greg Anthony. They'll visit with Keon Clark of the Sacramento Kings, trying to go up 2-0 on Dallas in Game 2 of our doubleheader tonight. Keon Clark was a big free agent acquisition, just as big as Chauncey Billups was for Detroit. Billups is out tonight because of the ankle injury, so somebody had to step up, and it's been Cliff Robinson thus far. 6 of 8 from the field, 14 points from the player who was having the worst postseason from the field of all NBA starters here in the postseason. Pistons by 8. AT&T halftime report is next. Number 2 here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Let's check the numbers from half number 1 as Detroit continuing to lead almost right throughout the entire series. They are up 8, shooting 58% from the field. And they're up 8, Tom Tolbert, even though they have only made 2 of 10 free throws.
Yeah, it's one of those games that if you were watching and not keeping track of the score, you would expect Detroit to be up 15, 16 points. Only up 8. I still say if you're Larry Brown, you're still feeling pretty good about your chances. Allen Iverson, after a 2 for 9 first quarter, goes 5 for 7 in the second quarter. And, hey, if Detroit shoots 55, 56%, they're going to win. That's just all there is to it. If you're Larry Brown, you're thinking they're not going to do that.
Yeah. Difference, too, in Detroit in these last 8 playoff games, they're scoring 51.5 points in the first half. That was the question about this team. Could they score enough? Michelle, what about the Phillies' halftime score?
Well, Tom was right. I mean, Larry Brown, you have to give him credit for maintaining a sense of humor. I said, what did you talk about in terms of your defense? He said, I'm not sure we did defend. He said we got beat on dribble penetration. We got beat on second shots. We did not do well guarding their pick and rolls. We got lucky. They went just 2 for 10 from the free throw line, but even then, he said, they made up some of that scoring by getting the rebounds on the long free throws, missed free throws. But still, happy to be down by just 8. Again, he's thanking his lucky stars for that, guys.
Allen Iverson opened cold, did heat up towards the end of the half. Shot 7 of 16 in that first half after 8 for 21 in game 1. The rest of the team not bad, just under 50%. So most of the numbers look okay for Philly, except when you look at what Detroit's done on offense. Atkins came over to double. Snow in the paint, lost it. Kenny Thomas with 5 to shoot, gets it to Coleman, and we've got a 3-second violation on Keith Van Horn in Philadelphia. The 10 players that started the game start quarter number 3. Snow, Iverson, Coleman, Van Horn, and Thomas for Philadelphia. And for Detroit, it's Atkins and Hamilton in the backcourt with Robinson, Wallace, and Curry up front. I thought, Tom, with Chauncey Billups out, Chucky Atkins did not turn the ball over at all in that first half.
That's a big keep. Oh, whoa. We're walking the tightrope out there.
Technical foul called on Allen Iverson. So Iverson has had a constant dialogue with the officials. Too much mouth for Monty McCutcheon. And the T was called. Hamilton makes it. Richard's been terrific shooting free throws throughout here in the playoffs. 45 of 49 in the opening best of 7. 7-game win over Orlando. And 11 of 12 in game 1. They 10 to shoot. Atkins out by midcourt, trying to get the Pistons back up double digits. 2-man game. Hamilton must shoot. Rimmed it out. Really nice job by Coleman. Just keeping Wallace completely away from the glass.
It was a great job by Coleman, a great show by Thomas, but even that thing was halfway down.
On the switch, Iverson splits it and drops 2 down.
That's one of those ones, if you're a big man, you're just glad you taped your ankles before the game. Because it could be, oh, he's gone the other way.
63-46 here in the first minute of quarter number 3. Hamilton's had his way with Iverson on the defensive end. Atkins for 3. Iverson hits the deck hard as Robinson was going up, and the foul is called on Cliff.
But a real nice drawn kick by Richard Hamilton that time. But watch this. If you're a big guy, he's going that way. And that could just be, that could buckle you right there. You know what that reminded me of? Remember when Barry Sanders, busted both of Rod Woodson knees in one play?
Sure, yeah.
Did that shake on him? And the knees just gave way. Well, you're a big guy, and he shakes you like that. You just kind of just keep going the other way and say, nice move, Allen.
Iverson trying to heat up early in the third, had the basket, drew the foul, blocked by Wallace. It'll be Philly ball with 6 to shoot.
You know, I have no idea who's going to win this game, but I will make this prediction. That I think at some point in the game, this is either going to be a tie game or Philly's going to take a small lead, and we'll see how Detroit handles that.
All right.
I just get that feeling that they're going to come back, and this is going to be a tie game, and we're going to see who fights it out the last 7 or 8 minutes of this ball game.
Iverson trying to make it happen.
Nice.
It's the second time he's got Wallace to commit and found Coleman laying underneath. Iverson had both assists on those same type of plays, and it might happen quicker than you think, Tom. It's just a 5-point game 2 minutes in. Detroit looking for its first field goal of the half. Won't come here. Iverson has Snow with him. And he is fouled up top. So Allen Iverson, as we alluded to at the top, trying to take over a little bit here.
And this guy, I mean, just to be able to get to the middle of the court as much as he does and see him rubbing the eye, must have got post going in. I told you that's impossible to stop when he gets full head of steam. Right there, sweet with the left hand going one way and passing it back the other way. And then the next possession, just 100 miles an hour down the court, just about impossible to stop.
Iverson is banged up. He had the pad on his back at shoot-around before Game 1. Had his knee iced and was getting the electrostimulus on that right leg at the shoot-around this morning. Allen Iverson just does not like practicing as much as Philly does at this point in the season. He feels the shoot-arounds are a little bit too long for him. He says it's tough for him to get his body physically ready for the shoot-around and then later on for the game. To be honest, Philly shoot-arounds are about as long as everybody else's as you get ready for the playoffs. Maybe a couple of minutes longer, but it's not like it's heavy work.
Yeah. I think it's more mentally he doesn't want to be able to shoot around.
Exactly right. 2 to shoot. 1. Great defense by the Sixers to open up. Iverson is Thomas with him. Hamilton back. Iverson can't finish, but Thomas never stopped. And it's a 2-point game, and Rick Carlisle calls for time. So a great surge to open for the Sixers. They have scored 7 of the 8 here in quarter number 3, and a big start of this game for Kenny Thomas. 8 points and 11 rebounds, but it all revolves around number 3. He wasn't enthused enough to be a part of the huddle in the second quarter. Now fully enthused here to open the third. He has set a tone, and Philadelphia is back within 2, trying to get Game 2 and wrestle away home court advantage in this series. It is 7-1 this quarter for Philadelphia. The only one came on a technical called against Allen Iverson, but he set a tone to start the third.
Oh, he's getting out in the open court and getting it done. Said the second quarter he was starting to heat up a little bit, and this is how he got it done in that quarter. Pump fake, up, and he's just too explosive to shut down for an entire game. He's going to have those spurts. His ability to get to the middle of the court is second to none. Just slicing down the middle, and then when you get on him right here, you got to jump out as a big guy. Right by you. That was pretty sweet right there.
Everybody took notice that possession in the second when Iverson sat on the bench for 3 minutes and was not a part of the Philly huddle. Lots of folks noticed. I'm talking to some people sitting on that side at halftime, and it's continuing to be the Allen Iverson question. He's respected by his teammates, but needs to be more of a leader at times. Hamilton double team by Van Horn. Great job. Lucky he didn't turn it over. 7 to shoot. Robinson up top triple. Atkins fights for it. Took the worst of it. On the floor, it's Coleman and Snow and Wallace and Thomas. And it's a jump ball. NBA.com has compiled not the 10 best scrums of playoff history, but the 10 best shots in NBA playoff history. Log on to see the candidates, and why don't you vote for the best shot? NBA.com. NBA TV has it covered as well during the playoffs. Press conferences with the coaches. Got you covered there as well on ESPN News after the games. Of course, Game 2 coming up after us. It is Dallas and Sacramento. Kenny Thomas, maybe unready or unwilling, didn't jump for the tip.
Conservation of energy right there.
Pistons maintain the possession. Philly's taking the tone to Detroit in the third. Robinson fighting for position on Van Horn, and a foul called as Snow was holding Hamilton, who was off to the races.
Well, that was a nice switch.
You see Snow, yep.
Nice switch, putting Eric Snow. And now coming back, I'm surprised they don't stay a little bit and have Eric Snow guard Rip Hamilton, because he'd be a little more effective than guarding him down low. I'm telling you, if I'm Rip Hamilton, I'm going right to the block and saying, give me the ball.
Perhaps concerned about the foot, although Snow has not looked too bad with that foot injury thus far. Robinson fouled by Van Horn, his fourth.
Better watch out.
He has a technical already.
I always love the byplay, the players. A guy like Keith Van Horn will go in there and slap at the ball and then get a foul called on him, and he's yelling at the referee saying, come on, man, that wasn't a foul. And then, of course, Cliff Robinson, who shouldn't even be in it, is yelling at Keith Van Horn. Yeah, it was a foul. What are you talking to him about? I'm not talking to you. Fun stuff. Nice free throws. But
it's been hideous. The Pistons are 2 of 11 from the line. Here's what you're talking about.
And he's getting on the official. He's saying, come on. And then what he didn't see is Cliff Robinson yelling at him saying, be quiet. You know you fouled me. Love that stuff.
He's back on the bench. Foul trouble again. Detroit hit the technical start of this quarter. So they're 3 of 12. Now make it 4 of 13.
Solid. And that's one of those things that at the end of the game, you lose by 3. You think to yourself, my God.
One of the most aptly named things in sports. Free throws. Snow got it to go. And Philly down by 1. The Sixers have led for 18 seconds of this entire series. Iverson and Buckner down. Hamilton shoots 3. Missed it badly, but Wallace was fouled by Buckner, so it's the third team foul on the Sixers. Philly has just drawn 2 on Rick Carlisle's team.
Well, just nothing he can do in that situation, but watch this. Coming around, boink, oops, gets your teammate out, and that's about the most open, Tom, look that he's had in the game. And Buckner, all he could do is foul Wallace.
Are you okay?
I'm trying to. That peanut butter at halftime.
I understand. 7 to shoot. The Pistons have missed all 4 of their shots. Philadelphia's defense has been better. It is a Curry 2 that rims out, and Thomas, who's been a fiend on the glass tonight, now has a dozen. Philadelphia for the lead. They haven't had it all night. They barely had it in the series. Iverson fires and knocks it down. Philadelphia on top. So in 76.5 minutes, they've only had 18 seconds of the lead. Until here. Now will the Pistons respond? They've blown a double-digit lead here tonight.
I like this right here.
Robinson on Thomas, got him in the air, missed the shot.
Did Derek Coleman put that back in? Well, he's laughing, so I'm pretty sure he did. Great board work by D.
That's an all-time classic.
Oh, my.
Does he get those points? A 3 for Buckner rims out. Derek gets the board and goes the correct way to Iverson. Got it to go.
Come on. Sweet bounce right there.
I wonder if they gave those points to Ben Wallace, who was...
Well, we should know he doesn't get those points with what Ricky Davis tried this year.
No, that's right. That's right. Robinson left free as they doubled on Hamilton. Well, Detroit cannot get into its stuff. Philadelphia's extending its defense. They've taken the tone of the game. Buckner on the drive. Misfired. Coleman kept that one alive, going for the correct basket, but lost it out of bounds. Oh, DC, sorry, buddy. We got to show it.
It looks like he controlled it, too, and just put it back in. What happened was he was trying to re-grip it and couldn't get a hold of it. And, oh, man. You got to be like, got it.
That's one of the, my skills are so good. I'm just a natural around the basket. Muscle memory takes over. Go get it, put it back in.
Man. Yeah, that's just good stuff right there.
Derek Coleman, former #1 pick of the New Jersey Nets back in 1990. Really loves playing for Larry Brown. Detroit 1 of 8 this quarter, 0 of 7 on shots they've taken. Their only make was Coleman's putback. So they bring some offense off the bench, and Tayshaun
go to the middle.
Sees the double. Wallace. Atkins on a floater. Kept alive by Wallace's activity. Atkins 3. Chucky Atkins has 2 threes and 10 points for Chauncey Billups here tonight.
That's a nice position by Thomas right there.
Backed in on Wallace, had no shot, pitched it to McKee. Prince got up in the air. McKee lost the handle, wants a foul. 3-on-2, Buckner hustles back. Prince lost it on the way. That's touched by Buckner, though. He banged it out of bounds. Well, tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern, ESPN2, a huge Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Minnesota, can they come back from 3-1 without home ice advantage in back-to-back series? It's never happened in the NHL. They try to do it in Vancouver. Coming up next, the winner waits for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. And the winner of this game will host Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. ESPN2 coming up in a little bit. 3-shot foul. No basket. A hold is called, and it'll be 2 shots for Richard Hamilton.
So he gets the 2 shots, foul before the ball gets inbounded, and that's a lack of concentration right there. You should be playing on the inside of your man, not the outside, not the top side. And I know why you do it, because you want to help when he comes off the screen, double screen, but that's ridiculous.
You know, this era of throwback jerseys, especially down in Philadelphia, that's where the trend really started in so many ways. Hamilton hits the first. Richards from 45 minutes outside of Philly, and he always likes to wear a throwback jersey to a game. But he said, I am keeping a couple in the closet at home. No Dr. J throwback and no Randall Cunningham throwback for this series. 2 of the guys he idolized growing up in Coatesville, Pennsylvania, leaving the Philly flair at home.
No Wilbur Montgomery?
No, he went Randall.
Mike Quick?
Jaws. You got to go with my boy Ron Jaworski. But Hamilton's hit all 3 of his free throws. Not his fault. It's the rest of the team that's been horrible. Pistons back on top by 4. This is Game 2 of the best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinal. 2 storied franchises who have never met in the postseason until this series. McKee off the mark. Hill got the rebound. He discarded Wallace. His dish to Kenny Thomas. Offensive foul drawn by Big Ben again.
Kenny Thomas not happy with the call, but, you know, you just jam your body into somebody like that. You can't do that. And it looks horrible, too. You got to watch right here. Just go straight up with it. Instead, he just throws his body into him. We call that against you every time.
McKee draws Hamilton here. Hill's arm was up by Atkins' face, and that's why that foul is going to be called on Tyrone Hill. But Tyrone Hill played 32 games this year for Cleveland, was waived on February 27th. The guy who does the dirty work. Hey, remember, he cleared waivers at 6 o'clock on a Monday. Thoughts of maybe going to Dallas. Yeah. But everybody, even Larry Brown's wife got involved, calling and saying, hey, Tyrone, come back to the Sixers, where he was very successful a couple of seasons ago, the 2001 finals year. Atkins misses his free throw. So Hill signed, and then he hustled because Philly was on a West Coast trip and short on bodies. He went Atlanta to Dallas to Sacramento, got to Arco, saw his teammates as he walked in, and they inserted him in the first quarter. Still running most of the same stuff. He hadn't been there for a shooter. He came in just as the game was getting started. Got a uniform. He played 12 minutes in that game. And then after the game, the guy's like, hey, how you been? Welcome back. It's good to see you, Ty. It's a veteran added to this roster for Larry Brown and general manager Billy King. Iverson trying to dive towards and is fouled. Billy King, former Duke player, general manager of this team. Billy making news, telling me before the game that despite the reports that were out there, he will not be running for U.S. Senate representing Pennsylvania. There was actually a report in Roll Call, the magazine that's up on Capitol Hill. I know, Tom, you're a subscriber to it.
Absolutely. I hate it when they raise their rates.
That King was going to run against Republican, longtime Republican, Arlen Specter for U.S. Senate out of Pennsylvania. He wants a political career down the line, but not right now. Buckner misfires, and Atkins the rebound. So Billy King will not be on the ballot in Pennsylvania in 2003. Hamilton lost it on the way up. Good defense by Philly, but Prince keeps it alive.
Yeah, pterodactyl out there. And just arms out of nowhere. But he's so thin, too. You should be able to move him off the box so he doesn't get good position.
3-second violation call on Richard Hamilton, who was trying to twist from Aaron McKee. And by getting McKee, Buckner, I should say that time, but McKee and Buckner on Hamilton here a little bit in this third quarter, and Iverson off of him, it has frustrated Hamilton a little bit.
Well, they've slowed the Sixers down, and the Sixers have helped the Pistons out the last couple of possessions by putting them on the line. They still haven't been able to make field goals, but they've gone to the line for the last 3 points. I would suspect that Iverson may be looking for a shot this time down the court.
There you go. Prince the board. Buckner the foul.
Well, that's a weak call right there.
As soon as we're done, it is game 2. Tom, what do you think about Sacramento and Dallas in the Western Conference Final coming up as soon as we're done?
I think Sacramento's rolling right now. I think they are. And I think Dallas will have to get 115, 118 to win that game. If they score under 110, I don't think they have a chance. I think Sacramento's offense is on fire. And their free throw shooting isn't on fire.
7 of 18. On the year, good shooting team. 9th best in the league, 77%. But unwatchable here tonight. 8 of 19. Still they lead by a half dozen. The number 1 seed in the East, a 50-win team that some were calling the worst number 1 seed in the history of the NBA playoffs. Buckner, a nice angle to the goal. Robinson presented himself but left Tyrone Hill free.
That's okay. Trent Dilfer was supposed to be the worst quarterback to lead a team to a Super Bowl. He got his ring.
Yep, sure did.
They can call me the worst anything they want to, as long as we keep winning basketball games.
A Hill goal stopped a 7-0 run. They double Hamilton, left Wallace free. Ack out to Prince for 3. Almost when he's free, he thinks too long.
Yeah.
He just can't get it off.
A lot of players do that. You're too open, you start thinking to yourself,
Doubling
this one.
Doubling Iverson, forcing it out of his hands. Buckner up top, let Hamilton fly by. It has been a very good series for Greg Buckner, who played 30 minutes and scored a total of 2 points in the last series. Buckner has come in tonight, hit his first field goal there, and of course had the great game in game 1 off the bench in 25 minutes with 11 points, helping to keep Philadelphia close. So the 4th-year man from Clemson, a former Maverick. We'll be checking out the Mavericks later on, but in a tight one against the Pistons here. Here is an update on what's going on tonight via the Chevy Trucks game track. Game 2, the Sixers have come out and shot 50%, while Detroit has shot 16% from the field and turned it over a little bit more. Iverson leading Philly with 24, Hamilton with 19. Our lead official tonight, Bennett Salvatore, the 20-year veteran, keeping the conversation going tonight, including talking about what one of the officials should have done up in Portland a week and a half ago.
I told Joey, boy, did he blow it. If he only knew the words to the national anthem, it could have been him instead of Mo Cheeks. Score the hoop. 22. Blocks, 1, score the basket. He just didn't get there in time. Almost, but no cigar. Nice jump ball, nice and easy, guys. Everybody all right? Good job, good job.
There is Bennett. And now in his 3rd decade working NBA games, along with Bob Delaney and Monty McCutcheon.
You going Mills Lane there?
That's the way the great boxing arbiter used to say hello to the folks back home. The guys with the Ben Wallace Afro wigs, but Ben in cornrows here tonight.
Well,
John Barry in the game for the first time.
I'm sorry, Mike. I was going to say, see where they go for the points in the last 2:45 with Rip Hamilton out.
Robinson takes it, misses it, and the Buckner board here for Philly. His first rebound of the evening. Mehmet Okur going to come in for Detroit momentarily. McKee on the drive. They're going to call that a blocking foul. I believe Big Ben was in the circle.
I think that's what they're saying. Did a nice job of sliding over, but if your feet are in the circle, you can't take the charge. Now, obviously, we'll get a better look here with instant replay. Hey, you know, I think if he lays his foot down, it's on the line, but his foot was up and never touched the line.
And guys do that a lot, try to get those heels off the line, so they are technically not on the line. McKee able to complete the 3-point play in Philadelphia. Back on top. Wait, that was the first of 2, wasn't it? They pulled in.
No, he made the bucket.
Okay, that's right. We're all confused. 64-63.
See, just my confusion catches up with me every once in a while and I come full circle. And I'm right.
It's the old line. A stopwatch is correct twice a day.
Exactly.
Wallace handling and bringing it across midcourt.
Well, a good double right there.
And hands it to Atkins in a tough spot. The timeout is called by Detroit. So it is a full, and that'll hurt the Pistons. We'll take one away for later on. So the absence of Chauncey Billups, not a huge factor in the first half, but Detroit hasn't been able to get a big shot or get into its stuff. Atkins put in jail there. Piston ball when you come back.
Log on to ESPNSoccerNet.com for the best site to follow the UEFA Champions League. Get all the headlines and late-breaking news on Europe's top football league. And follow your favourite clubs with in-depth analysis and acumen that the SoccerNet.com experts provide each and every day. You're one click away from fixtures, results, tables and stats. The UEFA Champions League on ESPNSoccerNet.com. Log on today. Don't miss all the fast-paced, high-flying action of the THQ World Supercross every week on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Tech, the first half.
Michael Bibby getting ready. It's the Kings and Mavs. Can the Kings continue their blistering pace?
Okay, Kevin. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, David Aldridge standing by for Game 2 of our doubleheader. Here, Philadelphia on a 7-0 run for the second time this quarter has blunted Detroit's 7-0 run earlier in the quarter. And the Sixers lead by 1, Tom, without the injured Chauncey Billups. If you're just joining us, the severe ankle sprain in Game 1. He hopes to be ready for Saturday's Game 3 on ESPN, but I think they're missing a little bit of his take over the game ability as things have gone south for them, even though Chucky Atkins' numbers have been fine.
Well, believe it or not, Philly is actually shooting a higher percentage in Detroit right now. And they were about 20% below earlier on in the game. Now 48% to 47%. And that's what we talk about. I mean, when you need a bucket and your offense is struggling, he can create that bucket. Well, it's a good thing they're going to the free throw. Well, maybe not for them, the way they've been shooting.
By the way this game has gone, Detroit is 8 of 19 from the line. And Atkins is 1 of 2. Allen not happy with that foul that was called on him. Oh. Inspiration. Likelihood of Allen taking a shot on this end?
Yeah.
Pistons led the entire first half. Phillies surge in the third. It has been close in most of this quarter. Game 2. Detroit won Game 1. It is Buckner trying to take Barry. Okur was trying to help defensively, and maybe he got a piece of it.
There it was. I love when both guys raise their hand. Give it to me. Come on. You put the hand down.
Kenny Thomas has 14 rebounds now to go with his 10 points. So a double-double. He's been much better in this game. Barry's first shot of the night is off the mark, and Iverson leaks out. Atkins is back. Prince and Okur sprint. You can't catch Iverson.
The only thing you can hope is you don't get screwed into the hardwood.
Philadelphia equaling its biggest lead of the night, of the series. And another foul is called. This one on Buckner. 3 on him.
And just watch the speed right here. And the change. Back the other way. Impossible. Impossible. Just can't do it. And that Philly is really hurting themselves right here by putting them on the free throw line for all these points. Now, they haven't shot a great percentage, but they're not making field goals. They're making free throws to score their points in the second half of the third period.
It's another double-digit game, Tom, for Tayshaun Prince. The rookie from Kentucky has 11. See Iverson's numbers, just a brief sit down for 3 minutes in quarter number 2 when the Sixers fell behind by a dozen. Beautiful feed to Thomas, who is fouled by Okur.
Set up by Iverson and a nice slip. You got to have both guys read the pick and roll and know what's going on. And if you're the big guy, you can't have your head turned when your guy goes over to double team. Kenny Thomas recognized the double team, slid into the open spot, and was able to get himself to the free throw line.
Here you see the difference from game 1 to 2. Thomas, who fell into some early foul trouble.
Now watch what I'm talking about here. It's the pick, and then watch, he's going to turn, open up the head, and then get right to the middle of the court and take it strong to the rim to get a couple free throws. Nice execution of the pick and roll, both by the ball handler and the big guy.
Fourth-year man out of New Mexico. Came here as part of the three-way trade with Houston in December. Bangs both free throws. Final minute, third quarter. Very good quarter for the Sixers. They've shut Detroit down with Philly's good defense. And Iverson's taken over the game on the offensive side. The trouble here, they just cannot get into something. 2 of 14 from the field this quarter. Atkins bailed out once again by a whistle and a foul.
Boy, it is really amazing. How many field goals they have this quarter?
2 of 14. And one of them was Coleman's accidental. Seriously.
That's awesome. And then just, I mean, the free throws have kept him in this game the third quarter. And hopefully you get, I'm sure Williamson come in the fourth quarter. Hamilton will be back in the fourth quarter. And then maybe get some offense going.
One more for Atkins. You might remember that Atkins, along with Ben Wallace, as you see the guys we were talking about, give him a little more offense. Atkins and Wallace were part of a sign-in trade with Orlando to get Grant Hill down to the Magic. That all happened the second week Joe Dumars was on the job as president of basketball operations. Hill came into his office, said, I'm not going to re-sign as a free agent. Wanted to go to Orlando, and Grant was good enough to give him the opportunity to do a sign and trade. It has worked out well. Unfortunately, Hill's 4 years in Orlando have been plagued by the continuing ankle and foot problems. We have a defensive 3 seconds on the Pistons, and a technical free throw coming. There is Joe D hiding way up top. Likes to stay out of the spotlight and the limelight. Sitting next to Director of Player Personnel Scott Perry. In his own right, a terrific player. And as Iverson takes the tee here, extends the lead to 2. You know, much like he was during his playing days, stays out of the limelight. It's Isaiah Thomas who was the star of that team, and Joe D was the guy who just got the job done but didn't create and bask in that limelight. And kind of does it here with this team as well. Off the inbound, quick three by Iverson's off the mark. McKee got it. Good hustle on the offensive glass.
Now he can hold for the last shot, or close to the last shot. About a 3-second differential here.
And Larry Brown letting him know. All right, let's track Iverson. He's at the top of your screen. Watched by Atkins. Takes the handoff. Gets it back to McKee for 2. Hit the shot clock out of bounds. So Piston ball. They have a chance to tie or take the lead to the fourth quarter. And they'll bring Hamilton in for the final 6.7.
A nice job by Carlisle, not giving away the possession. Going to bring in Hamilton to see if you can get a deep three, or with 7 seconds left, you can get penetration just about anything you want.
You got to go quick. Iverson hounding Atkins defensively. Goes all the way, and he beat the clock again. So Chucky Atkins has hit a hoop at the end of the first and the end of the third quarters, and have been big ones here for the Pistons. A quarter controlled by Philadelphia, but bailed out were the Pistons by Chucky Atkins. 10 points in the third quarter, and he's beat the clock in the first and the third. Richard Hamilton on top of Detroit's scoring column with 19, one of 4 Pistons in double figures. Allen Iverson had a big quarter. He had 10, 27 for the game. Off we go to the fourth quarter. All even at 71, eating 2 of the best of 7. Philly looking to even it up.
Thanks for making me a fighter.
Real Madrid. 100 years of history. 9 European Cup titles. 28 Spanish League titles, 17 Spanish Cup titles, FIFA Team of the 20th Century. Real Madrid, good enough to play in the world's best league. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN, by invitation only. It's 1 part adrenaline, 2 parts skill, and all the speed you can handle. The NHL on ESPN. From the first drop of the puck to the Stanley Cup. Your hockey home all season long. The NHL on ESPN. If it happens in hockey, it happens on ESPN.
Come on, people, we gotta find this thing. Let's go. Come on, let's move it.
Anything?
Check under the freezer. What? Oh.
That's definitely not a clam.
Oh, man. Let me. Wow, looks good. Nice. I like that. Very nice. Bling, bling.
The Lakers are down, but not out. Will the champions rally when they bring their show home? Spurs, Lakers, Game 3, the conference semifinals. Live Saturday, the NBA playoffs on ESPN.
The IRL IndyCar Series races on. Defending champion Helio Castroneves will go for his 3rd consecutive win. The Indy 500 Pole Day, Sunday, live on ESPN.
Welcome back inside Playoff Central. Kevin Frazier, Greg Anthony. Greg, you made a point when Allen Iverson got that technical.
Yeah, at that point, the game really changed for the Philadelphia 76ers. They played the way they played in Game 6 against New Orleans. The sense of urgency was there. They're starting to dominate on the backboards, and Allen Iverson has become a real factor.
All right, speaking of factors, a guy who was a factor in the Kings and a Mavs series, Bobby Jackson, the 6th man of the year, 23 points. He's 8 of 15 from the floor. That game's coming up next after we're done in the Palace. Mike?
Okay, Kevin, diminishing returns for Detroit offensively. 19 points in that 3rd quarter. Philadelphia took over control of the game to square it at 71. Tom, as you've been saying, Detroit very lucky to be where they are right now.
Well, he only got 3 field goals in the 3rd quarter, but ironically, what killed him in the first half, only 2 for 10 from the free throw line, they go 12 for 15 to stay in this game.
John Barry, Tayshaun Prince, Chucky Atkins. The score is on the floor. Barry at the line for 3. He finally hit one. Barry missed 3 3-pointers in Game 1. He was frustrated because when the lights went out, that 19-minute power delay, he hit 6 3-pointers while the house was dark. Coleman spins. Wallace fouled him. Ben thought he had all ball, but he did not.
Well, a nice drive by Tayshaun Prince. And they say, when you drive baseline, you got to drift baseline. Watch him drive and watch Barry drift. Sees him. Now, that rarely happens. Look down at the line and make it. But a nice job, Barry recognizing he was driving baseline, so he's got to create an opening for him to pass it to.
The foul on Wallace was his 4th. Iverson being chased by Atkins. Allen Iverson, you get the feeling, might have a huge quarter in him. He's going to try to get them all. Wanted the call, didn't get it. Wallace's board is his 13th. When Barry hits 1, he usually tries to step into another one very quickly. Trying to run Iverson around. There he goes. In the paint, all the way. Couldn't get it to go, but a blocking foul is called on Thomas or Coleman. Let's see. Thomas.
You see John Barry right here, down, back out. And I think it was Kenny Thomas that got his leg in there is what happened.
Yep.
And a nice job of John Barry being aggressive. Not easy to do when you sit on the bench the whole game.
Smooth free throw shooter. 86%er. There's a great family with Rick, Dad, and Scooter, and Brent Scooter over in Germany for many years after being part of that Kansas championship. Saw Brent in Seattle, Drew Barry as well. Came over to Detroit in the Mateen Cleaves trade. A trade that has certainly worked out for the Pistons thus far. Cleaves on the bench in Sacramento. Who? Team Cleaves, former Michigan State star, Tom. He's known in these parts. All 5 in the quarter for Barry. They force it out of Iverson's hands again. Holman showing Okor the moves. Okor never jumped, got the rebound.
Well, if they held them off in the third quarter, now you can just feel them kind of starting to surge a little bit, getting a little more confidence in their offensive game.
Atkins for 3. Holman the board. Iverson had nobody there early, helped create a passing lane, and an offensive foul was called on Snow.
Sometimes the easier shot is the longer shot. You just go ahead and float in a 7 or 8 footer instead of trying to get all the way to the rim. Iverson doing a nice job penetrating and then dishing. And he's the one that gets called for the foul inside.
His third. Barry has been the igniter in this quarter. Atkins from up top. Timeout, Philadelphia. The Pistons have scored all 8 in the quarter. John Barry's energy has been huge.
Champions of the world on ESPN. Horse racing's Triple Crown continues with the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes. The superstars of the NBA battle for the championship in the NBA Finals. And the NHL plays for the Stanley Cup. The Champions of the world on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Way down the line at third. Chop ball. Tough play. Casey Blake a bare hand and a throw. Got him! To keep it 5-4 Cleveland.
Taking right here, David. Down ball. Enzo. Can he make the play? And they get it.
7 last game. Ground ball down at third. And Williams makes a stop block throw. And lets him out.
He reminded me of that. Regardless of where you stand on the issue, the booth is not the place to do it.
Wow, Christensen, what a recovery in front of Everett. The two fielders just kind of staring at each other for a moment.
That's one of the better plays you'll see right there.
This week we...
Sounds like the old bad boy days. They have not stopped rocking the Palace here in the Motor City. Pistons lead by 8. And if she can hear me, here's Michelle Tafoya.
Oh, Mike, when Chauncey Billups went down with that sprained ankle and Chucky Atkins came in and took over in Game 1, there may have been some bittersweet irony for Atkins. The two of them played together in Orlando. Billups was injured most of that time. And then when Atkins got here, he helped actively recruit Billups to Detroit. Atkins was the starting point guard here last year and knew Billups would take over that spot, but still the two are fast friends, and you know Chauncey is pulling hard for his backup tonight, guys.
He certainly is, and Billups has turned it over. Atkins has turned it over, Michelle, just once in 34 minutes. Out of the timeout, they go right to Iverson, who makes it a 6-point game. AI has 29 here tonight. It stops a 10-0 Piston run that started with the Atkins 3 to end the third. Barry's come off the bench for the first time in the game. 5 points and an assist here in the fourth.
They got to go.
He goes all the way, wrap around Prince. Atkins has to shoot. 3-second violation on Detroit.
Well, you try to get her offensive rebounding position. You think the shot's coming up. A couple extra passes, and you forget about what you're doing. And you just stand in the blue.
Good job by Philadelphia to get a score and a stop and blunt some of the momentum with the crowd as well. Van Horn for 3. So Keith Van Horn takes his first three-pointer of the night and knocks it down.
We have a Van Horn sighting.
He's made all 3 of his shots. He's only taken 10 here in the first 2 games.
That's a crime. Only 10 shots.
Robinson on Coleman. Foul in the act.
Well, they are doing a tremendous job of being aggressive. It doesn't always work out, but they're getting to the hole, getting fouled, and getting to the free throw line.
Snow has 4. Hamilton ready to come in. Robinson at the stripe. 2 of 4 here tonight. After the terrible start, the Pistons had hit 9 free throws in a row until that one. John Barry comes to the bench. He did a great job in igniting Detroit there for a few minutes. Sir John's brother-in-law is watching, Billy Andrade, PGA Tour veteran, playing down in the tour event in Charlotte. Pistons by 4. You think JB's happy to come out of the game right now?
Oh, sure.
And Snow in the lane makes it a 2-point game. Well, with the foot injury and MRIs and CT scans and all the other things for Eric Snow, who's come in, played his about normal minutes, and has scored 8 points tonight. On the switch, Atkins has Coleman. Green light to go. Coleman did a nice job hanging in there. Now leaks out, but Detroit is back. After the 10-0 run, Philly can take the lead. But the 3 is an air ball bouncing right to Coleman, who puts it back and squares the game with 8 minutes to go.
You're just standing there. It's like, hey, that's a ball. I might as well lay it up and in.
Well, he's owed one of those.
Yes, he is.
After the mistake earlier when Coleman accidentally had an own goal. That's out off Detroit. Philly's defense has been fine here in the second half. Sacramento will take on Dallas. As soon as we're done, we get you to Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, and David Aldridge. In downtown Dallas, Sacramento looking to take a 2-0 lead to Arco.
Oh, nice.
Iverson on the give and go from Snow. He couldn't finish. Okur did a nice job defensively, and it's out off Philly. And McKee.
Just a tremendous pass right here. Iverson's going to give it up. And then Jet and Okur does a real nice job of coming over and contesting it in Detroit. It's a weird half. It's like 7-0 run, 7-0 run, 8-0 run, 8-0 run. It's just weird. It's just who can go on the next one. Maybe who gets the last one is going to win.
Prince trying to throw it down. Van Horn with a big block. Philly can take the lead. Barry's back in the game and took it away from McKee. He wanted back in. He made something happen. Now he stops and shoots and knocks down 3. You talk about a guy who wants it. Foul off the ball on Hamilton. Trying to stick with Iverson.
And you know what's impressive about that? When you go off the court and you're not real happy about coming off the court, sometimes you can lose your focus a little bit. Right there, nice defense, poking it away from McKee. And then that was the Van Horn block shot saying goodbye. But Barry finished it with a 3-point shot. A lot of times you can lose your focus when you're unhappy coming out of the game. Give it to John Barry for not.
We have a timeout called by the Sixers here with 6:54 remaining in regulation. Again, the big picture importance of a game 2. 96% of the teams that go up 2-0 have won 7-game series. Philadelphia's gone down 0-2 on the road in a best-of-7 8 times. They've lost all 8 of those series, the last one being the 2000 Eastern Conference semis to the Pacers. Game 3 of this series will be played Saturday. We'll have that for you on ESPN. Brett Musburger, Sean Elliott, and our buddy Sal Masakela in Philly. We'll be in Sacramento for Game 3 of the Kings and Mavs. Meantime, on TNT tomorrow, Boston and the LA Lakers, the 2 most successful franchises in the history of the NBA playoffs, both at home, both trying to avoid going down 3 games to none. Question is, with back-to-backs on Saturday and Sunday, will we see Detroit's Chauncey Billups with that ankle injury? Hamilton picked up another foul here as he was trying to keep Iverson from getting to the spot. 3 on Hamilton, 2 here in the last 8 seconds.
Well, with Iverson, he's so hard that, I mean, you know he's tough and he can take all the punishment and all that, but he's still a pretty small guy. And if you hit him a little bit, as we've seen, he will accentuate that, and he can draw a lot of fouls that way.
He caught it as he let it go, so it was a traveling call. Wallace is on the bench because he has 4 fouls. You would think that somewhere past the 6-minute mark, Carlisle will go back to the top vote getter on the NBA All-Defensive team. Tayshaun Prince now handling here to bring it up.
Better watch out.
Okur to Barry, feeling it, stroking it, knocking it down again! In the paint, wrapped around for Van Horn, wasn't ready for it. It goes back the other way with Hamilton. Detroit has scored the last 6. Halfway through quarter 4. Phillies turned it over 15 times. McKee trying to come through the Okura screen. See the foul. Man of the people, that's for sure. John Barry's done it all here in the 4th quarter. He's helped Detroit up 6.
Defender's edge, and the Philadelphia 76ers with a block party, Greg.
I'll tell you, they're stepping up. There's a sense of urgency for the 76ers. They know how important this game is.
Log on to ESPN.com and vote for the Dockers Defender's Edge. Speaking of how important a game is, Game 2 very important for Dirk Nowitzki and his crew.
Oh, definitely. They're going to have to step up, play big. Dirk, they need you.
Let's go back.
Greg and Kevin here. John Barry's 4th quarter energy has turned around this game, which was tied at 71 after 3. Barry did not play until the 4th quarter started. He scored all 11 of his points and an assist here in the 4th. Pistons up 6 with the ball and 8 to shoot for Mehmet Okur.
Oh, my.
Derek Coleman gets the rebound. Barry took it away. Robinson spins in the lane. Coleman, good job defensively. Okur. Oh, no!
Ball finger roll. Holy mackerel.
Philadelphia has turned it over 4 straight times, allowing Detroit to take the lead. Iverson has 2 bodies in front of him every time he goes to shoot. Snow almost walked, but got the hoop.
Well, John Barry's just been everywhere this quarter.
Yes.
He's like Droopy Dog. There's like 2 or 3 of them running around out there. I don't know. I might want to try to get him the ball and use a pick and roll. He's just in a different zone right now.
Great hustle by Iverson, trying to get the steal. Diving into the front row. In spurts, he's done it. Wallace comes back in for Okur. Penn has 13 boards tonight. Another fans down in Philadelphia, the First Union Center will be ready to match the fans here in Detroit for games 3 and 4. Miscommunication, Robinson and Barry
get back.
That's right. McKee all the way, got it to go. That's a 2-point game.
That was your classic compounding the error right there.
Yes.
Throw it away and then stop to complain and give him an easy deuce.
They're looking at each other, say, I thought you, I thought you. Meantime,
McKee
one of you should have.
Same pattern.
Another responsorial run. Phillies scored the last 4. Hamilton from the elbow. Coleman and Thomas able to keep it. Philly for the tie of the lead. Iverson trying to go to the finish line there. Barry knocked it away. Out off Prince, 17 to shoot. Not going to Springfield, Massachusetts to put in the Hall of Fame archives this game. But it has been fun, exciting, and
it's been a good game. It's just been a weird game just because in the second half there's so many runs. You got 3 7-0 runs, couple 8-0 runs, a 6-0 run. I don't really consider 4-0 a run. Got to have at least 3 buckets for a run, but if they score here, they'll match it. Or with the 3, maybe take the lead.
Atkins back in, so they get a true point guard on the floor after that Barry turnover. Meantime, Snow and Iverson working in the backcourt. Snow turned away. McKee watched by Prince. It will be Snow for the tie. He's in a couple of big hoops here. Eric Snow has a dozen points. The former Michigan State star. Well, he and his wife grew up in Michigan, so he's needed more tickets than anybody on the Philly roster. And a lot of his fans can't be heard, but they are cheering for him.
Well, somebody might have to go help here. You just can't let him get to the middle. Good help.
Atkins in the paint. Wild shot. Wallace couldn't get it. Philadelphia scored the last 6. One here will give them the lead. Thomas spinning. Robinson met him. He just yelled Eric Snow. 10 seconds. Plenty of time. Set a screen on Atkins. On the switch. There goes Snow into the lane. Wallace deterred that shot, and Hamilton has the board. Trying to go all the way. Ripped to the rack. Got it to go! First field goal of the half. Pistons by 2 with 3 to go.
What a great job of lulling Coleman to sleep and then putting on the afterburners.
Iverson trying to do it to Atkins, and Chucky picked up the foul. Philadelphia not in the bonus yet. Neither team is. Richard Hamilton had a very big first half. Once again, quiet in the second half, even though his total's at 21. Finally gets his first field goal of this second 24 minutes. The show and go around Coleman and Iverson. Hamilton using his speed. Guy who grew up in the Philadelphia area, trying to put the team he rooted for down 2-0 in round 2 of the best of 7.
24-9 in Game 1 against the Mavs. He averages 25 in the playoffs against Dallas. He is the guy that the Mavericks have to stop. Michael.
Oh, Kevin, they know it here as well. Kings and Mavs will be our second. That's the largest coming up next on ESPN banner I've seen in the 12 years I've worked there. Favorite time of the night, Sprite Mad.
John Barry getting started in the fourth quarter. Trifecta from the corner, and says on the break after the steal, I might as well let that one go. Hook 'em horns. And then from the corner again, wide open. 11 points in the fourth quarter, and like Hulk Hogan used to do, asking for more from the crowd, and that's your Sprite Mad Skills.
Barry on the bench. Chucky Atkins back in at the point, joining Hamilton. Tayshaun Prince, the rookie on the floor in key minutes. Cliff Robinson and Ben Wallace. Iverson coming to get it. McKee can't find anybody. Finally gets Thomas in a tough spot. Up in the air. Gets to Coleman. 10 to shoot. Snow on Atkins. Taking. In and out. Atkins the rebound. Phillies 5 defensively here. It's Snow and Iverson in the backcourt with McKee watching Prince. A little bit of a mismatch there. Thomas and Coleman.
They got to be looking for Hamilton to come off some screens, and maybe Prince trying to get to the middle and use his height. Woo.
Slipped out of his hands. Hamilton fouled by Coleman. One of the legends of the NBA have been at so many playoff games, and you can log on to NBA.com and check out the progress of the Love It Live tour. And speaking of legends of the NBA, there's one right there. Dave Bing, the great all-time Detroit Pistons. Very successful businessman in the area as well. Hamilton, a rare free throw miss. And free throws were a struggle earlier for Detroit. You see how good Rip Hamilton's been. 56 of 61 coming into tonight.
Well, Snow's hit some big shots for him here in the fourth quarter, but with 2.5 minutes left, you got to get the ball to your superstar and let Iverson get a shot for himself or create something for somebody else.
To Snow. Hamilton tried to deny. It's Atkins on the switch. Jumping in the lane. Finding Thomas. Nice job of body control by Kenny Thomas. Philly down 1. This possession will bring us under 2.
And that's what he can do. He'll get to the free throw line. He'll create shots for himself. And right there, did a great job of creating a shot for Kenny Thomas. 14 points, 17 boards in that for Thomas. Outstanding effort.
Hamilton The double. Robinson is free. Hit his first 6, but has struggled from the field since, missing his last 7. Philly can take the lead. Final 100 seconds of regulation. Foul on Hamilton as he tried to shut off Iverson, who's losing a little bit of body control.
Yeah, well, it's just tough. I mean, you hit the guy at $160, he falls down. I'm not so sure, that's a foul. Well, that's a foul that Iverson gets throughout the course of the year. So quick trying to penetrate, and you get in front of him. And I tell you what, a normal-sized point guard bounces right off that, and that probably doesn't get called a foul.
Iverson 5 of 8 from the line. The foul on Hamilton was his 4th. We'll have free throws on fouls the rest of the way. Iverson hits 30.
And this is your difference right here for Detroit. Who scored for you the last 40? Can you give it to Rip Hamilton and let him create? You know, with Philadelphia, you can put it in Iverson's hands and probably get a good shot or get to the free throw line.
Kings Mavs game 2 of the Western Conference semifinal coming up next here on ESPN.
Got to be ready to help on him.
Hamilton is doubled. Good rotating by Philly. Atkins drives. Couldn't get it to go. And Snow got the rebound. What a gutty effort it's been tonight on a bad foot for Snow.
And great swarming defense. Great help and recovery that time by the 76ers.
Must stop. Iverson, his penetration, free Snow, who hit another big shot. Eric Snow has hit huge shots in this second half. Another one there. Questioned if he would play. Barely took part in the shoot-around this morning. It's a 10-point half for Eric Snow. The attention to Iverson frees the former Michigan State star for a homecoming in his home state. Philadelphia up 3 in the final minute. Piston ball when you come back.
Few Mavericks who have played well and played well in Game 1. Kings and Mavericks coming up next.
All right, Kevin, here in Detroit, Pistons out of timeouts and down 3. Larry Brown's team getting closer in the timeout. Larry Brown reminded his guys who the poor free throw shooters were. As we check the Miller Lite storyline, here at the Palace of Auburn Hills, Philadelphia very good on the glass tonight, plus 15. Iverson's had 31. Atkins in for the injured Chauncey Billups with 20. Just 1 turnover. But the Pistons need a big shot here.
And if Hamilton gets it, you got to make sure if you're Philly, everybody rotates to him. Make somebody else beat you.
Here he goes. Coleman defensively the block, but a foul is called. Larry Brown could not believe the foul call.
Wow, that's a tough one with Bennett Salvador standing right underneath the rim, not making that call. Well, let's see if he got him. I don't like that call. I don't like that call only because Rip Hamilton's the one that created the contact with his off arm. And Derek Coleman's got to have the right to be able to go up and block that shot.
Hamilton missed a free throw, and he's their best free throw shooter.
And you watch right here, in the middle, jumps straight up. Yeah, I mean, maybe a little body. I'm not saying that couldn't be called a foul, but in a situation like that, with Hamilton creating a lot of the contact himself, that's questionable. Bennett Salvador had a real good view of it, and he didn't call it.
Detroit will be so upset at itself. 19 of 33. They have missed 14 free throws tonight, shooting in the mid-50s.
Well, 17 more free throw attempts than Philly, only 6 more makes.
Can't have it. It is 2. Iverson denied the handoff. Hamilton trying to deny him the ball. Now he's got it. Works the 2-man game with Coleman. Coleman rolls to the goal. Pull-up pop. Off the mark. Pricks the rebound. They have no timeouts. Chucky Atkins slows them down. It's in the hands of Hamilton. Fans on their feet at the Palace. In between and threw it away. Iverson gets it. And Allen is fouled by Cliff Robinson.
Well, Thomas did a real nice job of stepping out on that and stopping Hamilton. Rip, when he turned around, didn't make sure Allen Iverson slid underneath. You're going to watch Thomas jump this thing. That stops Hamilton. Boom, right there. Iverson sneaks right back underneath and gets a steal.
Iverson 6 of 9 at the line tonight. He scored 31 points. Keeps Detroit alive. A 3 can tie. John Barry's coming in.
He hasn't been
out of timeout.
He hasn't been very good from the line either tonight.
Barry in for offense. Greg Buckner in for defense. Ben Wallace to the bench, and Detroit needs to secure the rebound with Cliff Robinson and Tayshaun Prince on the low block, trying to keep Coleman and Buckner out.
And if he makes this and it gets under 5 seconds and they haven't gotten a shot up, I think you're Philly, you foul him. Don't let him hit a 3 to tie you.
Detroit doesn't have timeout, so the option of going for the quick 2 is still there, but not as prevalent as if they would have a timeout. Iverson missed them both, though. Allen Iverson missed 2 free throws. Everybody on their feet. Who will it be for the shot? The rookie Prince is doubled. He goes all the way, and he puts it in. 4.2 to go. Timeout, Philadelphia. The rookie showing up big. Sixers for the win. Next. Legend Tayshaun Prince hits the game-tying shot.
Oh, the young guy to have confidence to take this type of shot. Once again, dribbles right. What's he going to do? Spin back to his left. Circus shot. Nothing but net.
John Barry was waiting for a 3. He erupted, and so too did the Palace. You talk about Love It Live. Here is the visual example of Love It Live as the clock runs down in a playoff game. The building erupts. They're all still on their feet. 4.2 to go. No will look for Iverson. Iverson's in the paint, watched by Hamilton. Hamilton tries to deny him the ball. Atkins helps. It goes to Coleman, who's got to get it to Snow, who launches midcourt short. And we will have overtime. Fabulous denial defense to keep it out of the hands of Iverson.
Greg Anthony in the studio. They're underway in the Big D, and it's all about Sacramento, Greg.
Well, as my main man Yogi Berra would say, it's deja vu all over again.
17-10 your score. Peja, Vivian Weber with all 17 points for Sacramento. But let's head back for the finish in Detroit.
We'll try to keep Sacramento under 60 by the first quarter, huh? Forget it. My goodness. All square at 92 as we go to overtime. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, you can often tell what a team's going to do by the way they talk right before the overtime period. Larry Brown trying to keep everyone calm. But he said you guys have to move around and set screens for each other. But the one thing he said, his biggest message, you guys made a heck of a comeback. You've just got to go out there and play. Mike?
Michelle, in overtime, nobody has 5 personal fouls. A few players have 4. In overtime, the Pistons did not lose this year. 8-0, that set an NBA record for the most overtimes played in the regular season without a loss. Rick Carlisle's team perfect, including a 103-94 win in the first meeting between these teams back on January 8th. Bennett Salvatore will retoss it between Coleman and Wallace. In that overtime, Chauncey Billups hit a 3 to start it. Detroit never trailed. Philly, by the way, in that overtime was playing back-to-back overtime games. The delay here because they reset the clock to 50 seconds, not 5 minutes. Now it is correct, and off we go.
I think they ought to do like they do in hockey. If they have 2 throws like that, get 2 new guys in there. Let them jump.
Out of the face-on circle. Yep. Coleman on Wallace. The bounce to Snow.
Nice.
A foul on Chucky Atkins. Chauncey Billups out here in this game. The starting point guard, Atkins, has played very well. Just picked up his 4th personal. 3 Pistons have 4. Wallace, Hamilton, and Atkins. Billups, who had 37 and 40 in the prior couple of games, as Detroit erased the 3-1 deficit against Orlando.
Well, they feel like this is something they can exploit right there. Nice play by Ben Wallace.
4 to shoot. Coleman, did he establish himself back in bounds? Let's see. Oh, Monty McCutcheon's got a reset on the shot clock to 22. The clock did not reset earlier. Good job by McCutcheon.
Well, obviously that looks like Philly feels like they can exploit that matchup. Ben Wallace, great coming off the ball, but maybe not as strong on the ball. Get it into Coleman, let him work a little bit.
They tried it twice. See if it swings around near side, and they do it again. Yep. Here comes Coleman. Hops out after setting the screen for Snow. Missed his last couple of shots. Foul on the Pistons. Robinson disbelieving. He picked up a fourth. And Larry Brown is saying, hey, wait a minute. We got technicals for far less earlier on.
Yeah, I like that, though. I mean, Bob Delaney just looked at him, let him get it out of his system. And I think if he continues on, they might hit him with one. They'll give you that first 5 or 6 seconds, but then it's time to clam up.
This will be 4 tries to start the overtime for Philly.
Gotta be careful of an offensive foul here.
Thomas has been huge. Over Robinson, short, and the rebound by Prince. And Thomas, who has an 18-rebound, 14-point game. And after a minute of trying, nothing for Philly on overtime's opening possession. Prince lost McKee baseline momentarily. The long rookie got in the paint and got 2 more! You know, it was a good rookie crop, but isn't it hard to believe that 22 guys were picked ahead of him?
Yep.
Huh? I always think this is a big possession. You don't want to start falling down multiple possessions. Hamilton doesn't know it's been knocked away. Couldn't get it. Iverson tried to take advantage. 3 to shoot. Shot clock violation would have come. Atkins has Snow back. Has no help. And says, hold on. They go to Prince again. If he hits another one, this place is going to lose its top.
Well, if they let him go middle again and spin back over that shoulder, hey, Larry Brown might lose his top.
Robinson trapped. Tayshaun taking. Making! He has scored Detroit's last 7 points. Iverson and Coleman collide. Philly can't get in its offense now. The best D in the league showing up in OT. Thomas, tough shot. Went for the board. It's a foul on Detroit. Wallace is 5th.
Well, how about that? Last 2 possessions going to your rookie and letting him create space. That big, long step and just unfolds at the bucket. And then right here, a little bump fake. You know, I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. As well you should, young man.
We're getting into, this playoff run has been long now. We're getting into some very odd territory. For a rookie who didn't play much during the regular season to have this kind of a playoff stretch, he has been nothing short of unbelievable. The Pistons are trying to negotiate and say that foul was not in the act of shooting, but Bob Delaney said, enough, it was. Delay of, we'll give you a delay of game warning. It's 2 free throws and let's go. You know,
Tayshaun put it back off the line.
I'm not messing with Delaney either.
He's had enough.
One more for Thomas. Michelle.
No one is more proud of Tayshaun Prince than his former college coach, Tubby Smith, who told me the other day, I told every GM and coach, you're missing the boat if you don't take this guy. He's a 10 to 15-year pro. He'll be a perennial all-star, guys.
He's showing it here in this series. 1 of 2. McCutcheon stops it because something fell from the roof. Just a piece of tape or something. Detroit by 4. The first overtime points there for Philadelphia.
Well, I figure the way this game's been going, it should be tied up at 97 at some point. Somebody going a little 5-0 spurt. They get another 5-0 spurt to tie it up. That's just been the tenor of the game so far.
The Carlisle's going to take a timeout here as Philly was showing pressure and Carlisle didn't like what Detroit was ready for offensively. The Prince starting the legend here in the Palace.
Once again, we update you on the situation in Dallas, Sacramento, and the Mavericks. And Boy, do the Mavs need this. Steve Nash with the three. So meanwhile, Chris Webber continues to torment the Mavericks. Let's go back to Mike.
They could have 50. They could by the end of the quarter. Here, Pistons by 4. Tayshaun Prince, who started the game on the bench, has come in and done a fabulous job, hitting 7 consecutive points for Detroit. Watch what Philly does here. It's trying to extend the defense without Billups in there, but Hamilton, Prince, and Atkins, all the handlers, able to make it no problem there for Detroit.
I'm not a big fan of that timeout there either. I think it kind of sucks the wind out of the crowd. We'll see how it ends up.
8 to shoot. Atkins, tough catch, tough shot. That's my boy, says Chauncey. Off the bench, Chucky Atkins, who was sulking, to be frank, about his lack of playing time, has come in and hit 4 of 7 threes. Iverson saw Wallace. He couldn't shoot, so gave it to Coleman. Toe on the tape, 2 for Derek. 5-point game. 100 seconds in this first overtime. Pistons trying to go up 2-0 in the best of 7. They come to help on Prince and forces the turnover. Big moment here. Iverson lost it. Got it back, though. In a helter-skelter mode, McKee takes advantage and gets to the cup. Right back to a 3-point game. It's the way the whole game has gone.
Well, it started off with Philly helping down when Prince went middle, got the break and got the point. It's amazing.
Well, they've wised to Prince coming across the lane. 4 people were there defensively that time. Robinson trying to establish on Van Horn. Now they clear out for Hamilton on Iverson. Missed it. Coleman the rebound. Final minute, down 3.
Come on, it's got to be a 3 to tie it, doesn't it?
You think Iverson? He lost Hamilton for a moment. McKee goes in on Prince. Wallace there to defensively deter. 5 to shoot. Snow's hit a lot of big ones. He gives to McKee for the tie. Wallace goes up, can't squeeze it, but he was fouled by Coleman. Update from Texas. The Mavs have surged back in a super high scoring opening quarter to lead by 2. Brad, Bill, and David standing by. Atkins gets it across midcourt, watched by Snow. Here comes Prince. Iverson coming down to try to help. He couldn't leave Hamilton free up top. Here he comes. Iverson sticking in there. Prince came across the lane, and he hit another one! One of the best shows under pressure by a rookie the playoffs have ever seen. Often when you go back in a history book, it's how many did he get? How about when he's gotten them? Tayshaun Prince, the rookie who only averaged 10 minutes a game this year, is taking every big shot. And he's become a big shot here in the Motor City. 4 of 4 in the last 5 minutes. His shot sent it to overtime. He's put Detroit ahead the entire overtime. Another 20 points. Detroit by 5 with 14.1 to go.
In the studio, and what a game in Dallas. The Mavericks red hot, Greg.
I tell you, it's almost scary if you think about it. You're playing as well as the Mavericks are playing right now. You look up, you're only up 6 points.
Dirk Nowitzki, 6 of 6 from the floor, 3 of 3 from the land of plenty. It's 37-31 in the first quarter, guys.
Wow. All right, Kev, get to the guy as soon as we can. Here, down 5 with a timeout, 14.1 to go. Philadelphia needs a quick hit. Iverson got free and takes a big 3. Does not get it. Van Horn the rebound. That's not good either. Wallace goes up and gets it, and the Pistons are going to take a 2-0 series lead in all likelihood to Philadelphia. Ben has 15 boards, but it is Tayshaun Prince's night again.
Well, it's been incredible what this guy's been able to do. Just isolating him on the left wing. That was at the end of regulation. Huge shot. You can see all these moves look almost identical. Get it on the left wing. That was a three-pointer. A big three-pointer by Tayshaun Prince. And give this guy a lot of credit. They keep giving him the same thing, and you know what? He keeps taking it.
Wallace, a poor free throw shooter, hits one. Tom, Tayshaun Prince had 13 points in the entire month of March. And he wasn't hurt. He had 13 points the whole month. He has 3 playoff games with more than that. 20 here tonight. He also had a 15-pointer. He tied it with 4.2 left. Has had 7 in overtime. And the key moment of this Pistons playoff run may be when Tracy McGrady in Game 2 was going off for 46 points. Prince came in just defensively to deter McGrady. And since then, he's been unstoppable. Wallace hits them both. Timeout Philadelphia with 6 and 6 to go. Remember Dallas and Sacramento, what a great first quarter they're putting up. Kind of the old days of the Western Conference. See teams in the 40s after the first were going there immediately. We'll just fly you down to the American Airlines Center to Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, and David Aldridge. Updating the score as Dallas has come back to a 37-35 first quarter lead.
That's awesome. You could score 40 in a quarter and still be down.
Games 3 and 4 of this series are going to be Saturday and Sunday. And if Detroit can get through this game without Chauncey Billups and get him back, Philadelphia, obviously, given the history of the playoffs, will play with huge pressure trying to overcome a 2-0 deficit back at home.
Well, it's amazing. You're up 2. You have Iverson on the line. You can't make either free throw. And they come down, the rookie hits a 2-pointer to put into overtime. I'm surprised Tayshaun Prince has been able to do what he's been able to do. Not surprised that he's able to do it. Surprised that Philly's letting him do it. Go to his left, get to the middle, shoot that jump hook. I'm flabbergasted that he continues to do that. Give it to Tayshaun Prince, though. Like I said, they keep giving it to you. He keeps taking it, and you still got to be able to make the shots. And he has done a wonderful job in the fourth quarter and in overtime.
We know the adage, a playoff series does not begin until the road team wins a game. But Philly will be playing with all the 0-2 pressure. The Pistons have been up 2-0 in a best-of-7 4 times. They've won all 4 of those series, and all 4 came in the back-to-back championship series seasons of 1989 and 90. If the Pistons win, it'll be their 5th consecutive playoff win, something they last did and only did during their 90 championship run. There is Prince's numbers, but again, if you just look at the box score and say, oh, that's a huge game, magnified by the type of shots he hit. Chucky Atkins on the bench because of his 5 fouls, but he had 23. Down 7, 6.6 to go. Iverson on the pitch to Coleman, who gets it back to Iverson, who can't even get off a shot. As the buzzer goes, it's no good, and the Detroit Pistons have taken a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7. Prince is the hero with 20. For Michelle Tafoya, Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico, this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. So long from Detroit. Here's Brad in Dallas.